Okay, I'm here with Diane, and this is my first day on the road. I'm actually still on my way to a location where I can start hitchhiking because it's illegal in New York and New Jersey, at least in the city. And I just met Diane on the bus here, and she has this amazing story to tell.
Oh, okay. I so admire what you're doing, Martin. I'm pushing 70 right now, but when I was in my youth, in 1969, I did actually in New York. We did hitchhiking.
You haven't changed at all, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I haven't changed in my heart for sure.
Okay, cool.
For sure. As I get older, I get younger. When I was younger, I was much older. But I think it's your attitude towards the world, and it's a good thing. But I was telling Martin about 1969. I was out in Berkeley at my boyfriend's house. At my boyfriend's brother's house. He taught at Berkeley, and we hitchhiked up the coast to see my brother who lived in Portland, Oregon. And I don't know how we ever made it. It was a wonderful adventure. We relied on the kindness of strangers. The particularly interesting ride was with a guy who called himself Rick Truck. And Rick Truck was a trucker. He drove a logging truck, and there were logs in the back, and we rode in the cab with him. And he was, well, now I'm thinking the word, he was kind of a speed demon, and he might have been a speed demon in the drug sense too, because we went around.
It was 69 after all,
It was
right?
69. Yeah. And then we stayed, we camped out overnight in the Redwood Forest, which was so amazingly spiritual and beautiful. It was beautiful. When we were with my brother, we went to Mount Hood, where it was July. There was snow on the top of Mount Hood. Had a snowball fight, and I remember on the way we got a ride from Mexicans who had a pickup truck, and we rode in the back. They were so kind to pick us up, and we rode in the back of the pickup truck, and it was freezing because we were dressed pretty much for summer. And when you're out there in the wind, it is very cold. But it was a wonderful adventure. I'm so glad that I did it. And I admire you for doing it.
Do you think it was easier back then?
I do think it was easier. I think that there was less, people got killed back then, but there was less meanness. And I think that I really believe that a lot of exposure to antisocial, to hurting people and seeing people be hurt, that it kind of desensitizes people, and it makes people think it's okay. There are a lot of social psych experiments that when you beat the bozo doll and then you leave the child alone in the room, the child hits the bozo doll too. I think people get desensitized. In my day, it used to be a lurid pleasure to read in the, what was the paper? The Journal American, which isn't in New York City anymore, about the gangsters, what they did. And but it was your imagination. But now there are the details with the blood and it's very, very sad.
Yeah. So for me to hitchhike, talking to the expert here from the golden age of hitchhiking, is there any advice you can give me on how to fetch a ride, how to get a ride?
Well, for me as a female, it was easier to be with my boyfriend.
Would you volunteer to come along for a little while and share the experience?
I'd love to, but I have an knee injury. And that in a very characteristic
We're not walking,
way.
We're not hiking.
I know, we're hitchhiking. And I'm going to see my daughter. Monday's her only day off. But, my injury is from sitting with no support under my knees and typing a lot, and then going to a Roomba with my Cuban friends on Saturday in St. Nicholas Park and dancing. And, my knee hurt more, but it's like, oh, wow, this guy just came from Cuba and he dances really well. So, and I have no regrets. Pain is not a bad thing. Pain is a signal that something's wrong. And when you have pain, then that makes you go do the thing that you need to do to get rid of the pain, whether it's psychological pain or physical pain. I mean, you could also numb it, which is a bad idea. But you have to listen to it. Pain has a message. So my pain now is saying, yeah, we're cool, we're all right now. Go visit your daughter. It's her only day off, and you can't do it for another month. So yeah. So and so look who I run into. A wonderful person who's hitchhiking.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also, I almost said New Yorkino, which is what I say to my Cuban friends. I'm from New York City, and people have a stereotype that people from New York City are cold, and that's not true. And New York City is not just Midtown. New York City is neighborhoods. I'm from uptown, where City College was downtown, from the northernmost neighborhood, which is Inwood. and people are friendly. Well, we also have space is an issue. Sharing space is an issue. So when people walk four abreast, really slowly, that's like an affront to a lot of New Yorkers. But the way that I deal with it, I know when things are, because people don't know, you know.
Look how good she is with the camera. She's like talking directly to you guys.
And a lot of that. And what I pride myself on movement-wise is my ability to thread through a crowd and to do that calculus on the street. I'm going to encounter him at this point and I'm going to go that way, or maybe if he goes that way, I'll go that way. And I'm usually on a mission. So yeah,
as a New Yorker,
yes. So we are a little different, but we're not cold. Yeah,
no, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna go on an adventure now with him. I kind of wish I was going. Yeah.
Well, I offered.
Yeah, he did. He did. But you know, family wins. So I'm gonna see my daughter. Yeah, and she's a Mädchen.
A Mädchen?
Isn't that a German word for
a
girl?
Mädchen. A Mädchen. Yeah.
Mädchen.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So, ich bin ein Junge.
Ich bin ein Junge?
Yeah.
Ich bin New Yorker.
Which is kind of a different species. All right.
Yes.
Any final words?
Come visit the United States. I just visited Ireland this year. I want to visit the continent again. And yeah, I think that you all have a better, I don't know, in the United States we think everybody speaks English. That's very chauvinistic. What I find about Europeans is they learn more
Ireland,
languages.
and then you went to Ireland and you realized they don't?
They don't. They have another language. And I learned some stuff with that,
Right.
because it's respectful to learn people's languages.
Yeah, of
and
course.
it's fun. It's another way of looking at the world.
Okay.
Ciao.
Oh.